What's up, everybody? Oh man, I don't have my headphones. Well, anyways, hope y'all can hear me, man. Welcome to this edition. I'm trying to see if for some reason, one second, hold on a second. My lights are always going out in a certain way. So, anyways, let's get to it. The name and the title of this is Are you going to the shooting range to bullshit? Or are you actually going to train? I've been going to the range for a few days this week, and I always think about um, how what people do when they go to the shooting range. Okay. I know, and I'll probably mention this later. There are some people who actually they get a kick out of shooting hundreds of rounds through their gun, right? Which in actuality means absolutely nothing. Just to go, you've seen people, they go out, they got their guns, they go out to shoot, and then all they doing is just pulling the trigger down range. Oh, I shot 300, I shot 400 rounds, yada yada yada, right? And it's kind of like a badge of honor for them. But I'm like, are you actually doing something that means something when you're on the range? Now, I'm not talking about standard action ranges where you can go, you can move, you can shoot, you can do some other things, right? I'm talking about straight up static ranges where you're standing in a box. What are you doing when you go there, right? So I'm going to give you some pointers. I'm going to give you some tips as far as what you could be doing and making more use of your time. Now, depending on um where you shoot at, you may have an hourly limit or you may not have a limit at all, right? But one of the best things that you could do to make use of your time when you're at the range is to do mental exercises. Okay? And what I mean by mental exercises, you have to prepare your mind. So before I hit the range or right when I go in, I always do a inventory of where my mind is and what I'm getting prepared to do, right? One, I wrap my head around safety. But once I get on that range, and a lot of times I write things down. Like, for example, I may have three scenarios, and I may have three scenarios that I want to work on in my head as far as my mental exercises. So I kind of call them task and conditions, right? So for the conditions, I put myself in different situations, whether I'm in my car in traffic, whether I'm riding on the train, whether I'm in a grocery store or whatever, right? I make the condition up. And then, my task is maybe to evade an active shooter or to do verbal exercises to or do verbal communication and de-escalation to um talk down a particular person with a knife or something like that, right? That may be the case. So hold on a second, let me turn this damn phone off. um or talking down somebody with a knife. But I kind of make sure that I have a big span on where I take my actual mental exercises. So it's important for you to do those mental exercises when you get to the range, because if you don't, um, you're not getting the best value of training and or practice that you can actually do. I mean, think about it. Look at boxers who watch film on other boxing match. Um, look at boxers who, or look at football players who watch film. Right. This is extremely important because they need to do this to mentally prepare. If you've never heard the saying, there's a great saying that says the body cannot go where the mind has never been. Right? We seen that. And I think that's true, and it's always going to be true, is that the mind cannot go where the body has never been. So we have to do these mental exercises, just as law enforcement, just as military does, right? You got to prepare your mind first. So make sure you're going through when you're looking at that static target. Sometimes you may want to imagine that static target as a bad person or a person who's trying to do you harm. And then you go through the process, take things slow, you know. Imagine yourself, okay, now I'm going to draw. Now I'm going to put my sights on this person. Now I'm going to press my trigger, right? And then trying to imagine the things that's going to happen after that. Like, how is the person actually going to react to you shooting them? Okay. So get creative when it comes to that. I think I'm going to do a video and give some pointers on different scenarios and how people can try to prepare their mind for going to the range as well. Um, Another tip is mumble, because you can't be out there screaming and stuff in the range. You might look at you like you're crazy, but mumble verbal communication and de-escalation to your target, right? So one of the things that I like to do is I like to get, in my stance, everything's ready. And a lot of times I like to kind of say, I say under my breath, I say, stop, get back. And I do it very calmly, of course. Stop, get back, stay away from me, right? And then I go through different iterations of them actually listening to me, right? That's one. And then I go through iterations of them not listening to me, right? So giving a warning to them like, hey, stop back. Stop, stay back, or I'm going to use force if you don't stay back, right? So basically giving them a good warning, two-part warning saying, telling them what you don't want them to do and what's going to happen if they do it, right? So all that stuff is good to practice when you're on the range. Um, Stop just going to shoot off hundreds and hundreds around, folks. That's not where you should be at. As far as your training, you should be developing some kind of skills. Like I can go on the range and shoot literally a 50 round box of ammunition for my pistol and get the most optimum training in there because I'm working on certain things. Sometimes I may even go in there with my flashlight, right? My handheld flashlight, and work on some of my handheld, my low light skills with my handheld, right? Now, of course, you can do this in dry fire, but when it comes to actually shooting, feeling the recoil, feeling how the actual flashlight feels in your hand, all that stuff makes a difference. Um, and going in there and working on your marksmanships, that's great. But start working on defensive shooting. Try to shoot faster, right? Even if it's just 2 or 3 rounds. I think I'm gonna provide some drills for that. But even if it's 2 or 3 rounds, do something that's more controlled and more intentional. Okay. Um, and then make sure you're implementing dry fire into your practice. Okay, so when you're at home, like tonight, I'm about to do a series of dry fire where I'm going to go through my draw from the appendix, go through my draw a few times from the strong side hip, and then I'm going to go do my draw and do some not my draw, but do some reloads as well, and some trigger press, and that's going to be it for me tonight. And it probably take me no more than 10 minutes. So I'm going to do that tonight. I'm going to implement that dry fire also with those dry fire exercises. I'm actually going to implement my mental drills and exercises. So, with that being said, this is a live video broadcast. So, if you like the content that I'm putting out on this channel, please like, please subscribe, please hit the notification bell so you can get more content like this. Are you going to the range? Are you bullshitting? Or are you actually doing training? Are you actually practicing the skills that you need to practice? Okay. Now, one last thing I almost forgot to mention, there are some ranges where you cannot draw from the holster unless you're like holster certified or they just don't let you do it. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to show you something. If you're practicing on the range, I got a training aid. If you're practicing on the range, you should be practicing from a close ready or a compressed ready position. Because when you draw your firearm, whether it be in the appendix position or whether it be in the strong side position, you should eventually come to a compressed ready before you actually push it out. Okay. So when you're on those ranges, don't be lackadaisical, don't be lazy. Get a strong position, right? This is a defensive position with a firearm. Get a strong position and then start railing your gun out and going through some drills like that. You can also do those in dry fire. Again, like, subscribe. Um, I need your support. It's a new channel. I hope you guys like the content that I'm putting out. Hit the notification bell if you want more like it. If you have any questions, leave them in the chat, man. This is going to be a video for people to go back and watch. So thank y'all very much. I'm going to do another live tomorrow. Stay tuned. And if you haven't, I did the live yesterday on the 3-year-old toddler who killed themselves while finding their parents' gun. So thank y'all again. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please hit the notification bell for more content like this. Peace, y'all. Have a good night.